Well, happy Friday to everybody. Hope you are doing well. Got to adjust some things here in my setup just to make sure that everything fits in as well as it could. Good morning, Ben. Glad you are. PTO is a wonderful thing, no question about it. Right now, I just have TO. I've got time off. I'm not getting paid for it. That's okay. I don't need to be paid for it. So I'm enjoying my time off, no question about it. My permanent time off, as they say. We are at the final game of June the 22nd, 1987, game 474 of the replay. Here at the Oakland Coliseum, Kansas City Royals against the surprising first place A's. Oakland Coliseum, symmetrical park, but pitcher friendly. 1-3 for singles, 1-5 homers. Oakland won the real game 4-1. Oakland 41-26 on the replay. Kansas City 31-35. On the mound for each team, we have Brett Saberhagen for the Royals and Steve Ontiveros for the Oakland A's or Athletics, whatever you want to call them. And so we'll get this game going very shortly. Got our Oakland A-colored dice out as best I can get them. Good morning, Dan and Dr. D. Good to see you. That is correct, Ben. Frugality for 30 years has paid off. Every time, especially in the last couple of years, and especially in the gaming community, so many people out there that I see on YouTube, or either not really YouTube, but on Facebook and stuff like that. Every time a new game comes out, they're like, oh, I went and bought all these things. I'm like, how do you? I won't mention one particular person, but I'm thinking of one person who's like every couple of weeks they had an unboxing of something else they had bought. I'm like, where are you getting all this money from? So maybe the fact that I didn't buy all that stuff is, a small portion. It's just a mindset, basically, of being happy with less, I guess is the way you call it. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm being deprived in any way. But enough of that. Let's get on to Strat-O-Matic. Steve Ontiveros is your pitcher. And again, the blue background on these 87 cards don't show up very well on YouTube. So I'll try to get a little closer look here at Steve Ontiveros. He was 10-8 with an ERA of an even 4 in the real season. On the replay, however, not faring quite as well. He's 0-4, and on a team that's got a 41-26 record, to be 0-4 does not bode well for you. And his ERA is 5.75, 36 innings pitched, 45 hits, 14 walks, 25 strikeouts. He's been in the bullpen. He's been in the rotation. He's been off the roster, on the roster. Now he's back on the roster. So I think he is pretty much here to stay now. And I think he's going to start to be a fixture in the rotation if I'm not mistaken about that. Let me make sure I've got everything where all right. So if the dice hang to the left here, you can still see them. So I know we're in good shape there. And it looks like we've got, I might go in just a tiny bit closer here. And let's see about bringing this over just a hair. That way I can get closer to the dice. And I mean, not to the dice, to the cards, because sometimes they're hard to see. So let's put them here. Let's see if that works. Morning, Tribe fan. Always never hurts to lurk. Never hurts to lurk. Might hurt to work, but All right. Anyway, enough of that. So Steve Ontiveros, of course, not the best replay going so far. Pitcher hold, Ontiveros is a -1 overall, and Saberhagen is a -2. So both decent at stopping the run. But we'll see what happens. Only certain guys are going to be running anyway. It's not like the whole team is going to be running. It definitely is overrated, no question about it. I mean, it's hard to believe, but I retired June the 6th last year. It does not seem like it's been 10 and a half months. I mean, where did the time go? Where did the time go? But I have not, in those 10.5 months, there's not been a single day that I have been bored. People are saying, oh, you're going to be bored. You're going to be bored. Show me. No, I'm not bored. So, all right. So before we throw the first pitch, of course, ceremonial first sip. And on a side topic, there you go, Justin. On a side topic, there has been a lot, or not a lot, but there's been some, what's the word for it? Some exposure or discussion or whatever about AI. And I have made the decision going forward that me and AI just don't get along. So if you're looking for AI, you're in the wrong place. This is analog city right here, folks. Cards and dice, that's it. I'm done with OBS. I'm not going to screw around with OBS anymore. It's strictly going to be cards and dice, score sheet and paper. And that's about it. So anyway, that's that. All right, so Willie Wilson will lead it off. Wilson, let's get his numbers on the replay. Wilson is hitting 268 on the replay, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 279 real world. We're underway, 2-7. It's ground ball to third. And Carney Lansford will make the play. So not using AI or OBS, so my presentation will not be as slick as many others, but that's okay. I put the O in old school. So people can watch what they like, I guess. Kevin Seitzer hitting 289, 9 homers, 35 driven in. He hit 323 real world. 6-8, and that is a 1-10 single. The double die is a 2, so Seitzer gets himself a base hit. Seitzer will try to get the lead on a 5 or a 6. He can obtain a good lead. He does not. He will hold. And here comes the designated hitter, George Brett, the venerable George Brett. Brett on the replay hitting 293, 4 homers, 9 driven in. He is 290 real world. 2-6 for Brett, and that's a solid single to center field. Seitzer was being held, makes him a 12. Center fielder's 0 arm. So 1-12. I think you're going to hold him here at second base. When you got Tartable and White coming up, you're going to trust your 4 and 5 hitters will come through for you and not make outs on the base paths unnecessarily. So another thing that I don't do, and maybe that's why I save money over the years. But if people do it, that's fine. It's up, whatever floats their boat. It seems like in this hobby in general, new things come out and it becomes the flavor of the month. And people get all excited about it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then you never hear about it again. And I imagine some people have gone out and bought all these things, and they're probably sitting in their shelf collecting dust. And I'm thinking to myself, man, you just spent money on that stuff and you don't even like it. You just bought it because it was the flavor of the month. So I don't know. I tend to stick to the traditional things. And if people want the newest gadget, go for it. All right, here's Danny. Now, I don't want to sound to get off the lawn, guys, so I'll stop. Here's Tartable. Tartable hitting 322, 15 homers, 44 driven in. That's on the replay. He hit 309 real world. The A's are playing back for the double play. It's a 3-3, and they get that double play right on cue. The Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play right there, 6-4-3. Couldn't have drawn it up any better if you're Ontiveros. Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're out that way, be sure and stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. All right. Hello, Jeremiah. Good to see you. And I don't know my thought on the flavor of the month. The one that's hitting me right now that, and it may prove to me more than the flavor of the month, but this game pulse thing. I'm seeing videos all over the place on this payoff pitch game pulse thing, and it seems like it's just a flavor of the month. You know, a month from now, come back and see me and see if you're still playing or you're still excited about it. Just my thought. And I like payoff pitches. It's not my favorite game. It's okay, but it's not my favorite game. So to me, game pulse is still payoff pitch. So I don't know. All right. Here is, and there's nothing against game pulse. If you like it, go for it. I always say, play the game you want to play the way you want to play it. All right. So Brett Saberhagen, bottom of the first. He's 18-10, 3.36 ERA in the real season. In the replay, he's struggling 5-8, but that's because he's not getting run support. His ERA is only 3.29. He's pitching very well. His metrics are very well, but he's just not getting run support. 107 innings pitched, 96 hits, 22 walks, and 62 strikeouts. All right, here is Luis Polonia. Polonia on the replay hitting 279, 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 287 real world. 4-2, the left-hander struck him out. Saberhagen with the strikeout. One away, and that brings up Mike Davis, the right fielder. Mike Davis hitting 289 on the replay, 15 homers, 45 driven in. He hit 265 real world. That's a 2-5, and that's a ground ball to third. 2 up and 2 down. And here's Carney Lansford. Lansford hitting 283, 9 homers, 37 driven in. He hit 289 real world. 1-8, ground ball to short, and that's going to do it. All right, 3 up and 3 down goes Saberhagen. That didn't take long. He dispatches the A's pretty quickly. Go to the bottom of the top of the second, rather, and it's no score from Oakland. Do it for the Royals. It'll be White, Jackson, and Balboni. So we have 2 Jacksons in this game. Bo Jackson for the Royals and Reggie Jackson for the A's. Hello, Brown. Good to see you. I do too, Dan. That's why I've played some of the other games. Like I will, continue to play Fall Classic for the NBC Game of the Week just to mix it up. I'll throw out inside pitch once in a while, but this right here to me is home. So, hello, Yoko. Good to see you. Here's Frank White. He's hitting 233, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 245 real world. 4-5, and that's a strikeout for Ontiveros. That's his first strikeout. And maybe, I don't know. Strat-O-Matic was my first game I played in the hobby on YouTube anyway, as far as cards and dice go. And so I'm just, it just stuck with me. It's like a comfortable pair of shoes, I guess is the best analogy I can make. Here's Bo Jackson, 242 average, 10 homers, 24 driven in. He hit 235 real world. Other shoe brands may look better, be a little flashier, but nothing is as comfortable as a good game of Strat, in my opinion. Here's Bo Nose, 5-8, and that's a pop out to first. Mark McGuire is there, 2 down. And assuming most of the guys that are, or most of the people that are listening or watching this are at least have some interest in Strat-O-Matic. I'm assuming I'm preaching to the choir, but you never know. Here's Steve Bye Balboni. He's hitting 178 on the replay, 11 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 207 real world. That's a 2-6, and that is a ground ball to short. So that's going to do it. So Ontiveros pitching well today against the Kansas City Royals. We go to the bottom of the second, still no score. Saberhagen. Basically, Mark McGuire. McGuire on the replay hitting 293, 22 homers, 50 driven in. He hit 289 real world. It'll be, and this is interesting. Usually they have Canseco hitting ahead of McGuire, but for whatever reason today, La Russa has flip-flopped them. I'm not sure the reason. 4-7, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. First X chance of the game. It is Frank White. 2E11 for Frank White. 2-9. So let me get my stuff out here, my charts. 2-9 for an infielder. 2-9. 2-9 is a G2. That's a 7, and Frank White is an 11. And there's no 7 there, so good play for Frank White. Takes care of McGuire. 1 away. And I don't. If it comes across this way, I apologize. I'm not trying to diss the people that like the newer games or like the AI or whatever. It's just not my thing. That's all I'm saying. But if it makes them happy and they enjoy the hobby better because of it, kudos, and I am happy for them. It's just not for me. All right, Canseco, 274 average on the replay, 17 homers, 47 driven in. He at 257 real world. 4-8, and that's a pop out to third. Seitzer makes the play. 2 down, and here comes Reggie Jackson. Hot Dog Jackson, as they call him, hitting 195 on the replay, 12 homers, 32 driven in. He at 220 real world. 1-8 for Jackson, struck him out. And 3 up and 3 down go the A's once again. At the end of 2 complete, still no score from Oakland Coliseum. And I guess to get back on the theme of the get off your lawn guy and the old crotchety guy or whatever. If I'm not mistaken, I'm the last of the Mohicans as far as the old time YouTube guys. I mean, one Earl is retired and never came back. The other Earl is on there very, very sporadically. Even Steve Tower doesn't do many videos anymore for whatever reason. And Al Red Sox fan has been there for, comes on once in a while, but doesn't, do a whole lot. So out of the guys that I was around when I first started, a lot of them I don't see anymore. I don't know if they've gotten disinterested in YouTube, disinterested in the hobby, got other things going on in life, whatever the case may be. But I'm still chugging along. So. All right. Yeah, Kurt Berglund's still around. Absolutely. I didn't catch up with him until I'm going way back to like 2016 when I first started. I'm thinking the guys that were out there when I first, Al Wilson, Steve Tower, Tabletop Earl specifically. I don't think Kurt, if he might have been, but if he was, I didn't know, didn't find him or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not sure, but I've been doing this for 11 years, so I don't know how long he's been doing it. I started in 2015. All right, here's Angel Salazar. Oops, let me finish the strikeout for Reggie Jackson on the computer so we can get the Royals back up. Here's Angel Salazar, also called Argenis Salazar. 220 average, 2 homers, 13 driven in. He hit 205. Yes, I do, Dan. Dr. D, I got a long way to go. Here's Angel Salazar, 2-9, and that is a single. Base hit. Oh, one guy I did forget. He was around when I first started, and that was ID Jester, and he's still around. And he's still, I think he's not doing so many rants anymore. I think it's more playing games and chatting about the hobby. I haven't seen him do a full-out rant in a while, so maybe he's calmed down on that. Salazar, boy, it's going to be a tough. Well, you know what? He's got the asterisk, so we're trying for the lead regardless. He needs a 2, a 6, 7, or 8 to get the lead. 10 or 11, he's caught. That's a 7. He gets the lead. He's going to go 15 being held to 13. -1's a 12. So he's still got a 60% chance to steal. Angel Salazar, Let's look at his stolen base numbers on the season and on the replay, because I like to steal bases, because if you don't try, you're never going to recreate the caught stealings. In real world, he stole 4 bases, got caught 4 times. In our replay, he stole 2 bases, has yet to be caught. So if you only wait till you get a 1 to 17 chance to actually steal, you're never going to get the caught stealings. So this is a 1 to 12. And he stole it anyways, 3 for 3 on stolen bases. Salazar did it. He's now at second base with nobody out for Jamie Quirk. Hey, Joe. I'm trying to think. I know there's other people that play super advanced when they play. They just might not play as well. Actually, Spokane Steve plays advanced. He does not play super advanced. And I'm still a little bit envious of him because of his penmanship is just immaculate. He writes better than I can type. Put it that way. All right, but that's something I noticed on his channel, on his score sheets and everything. That's a 1, so we got a wild pitch chance on Ontiveros, which is a 5. That's 2, so it will be a wild pitch. So a stolen base and now a wild pitch. And Salazar has gone from first base to third base without an out occurring. So runner at third now with with nobody out, rather. And Jamie Quirk is your batter. Quirk hitting 271 on the replay, a homer and 16 driven in. He hit 236 real world. The A's are playing back. They want to prevent a big inning. 4-7, and that's a ground ball, second base X. We are looking at Phillips, who's a 4E21. 4 and a 3, that's going to be a base hit no matter where you play. 4 and a 3 is a single, so it doesn't matter about in or out. That's a 10, so I don't think there's going to be errors there on a 10. There's not. But it's an RBI single from Jamie Quirk, and the Royals are on the board, 1-0. Quirk is no threat to run. Now we flip the order over. I agree. I mean, I say it all the time, Yoko. Play the game you want to play, whatever makes you happy. Don't play something because you want to fit in with a certain crowd or whatever. Play the game that's going to make you happy. It's a hobby. You're supposed to have fun. If I didn't have fun playing Strat, I certainly wouldn't be doing it, because there's other things I could be doing right now. All right, here's Willie Wilson. That's a 6-6 switch hitter batting left. That's a strikeout for Ontiveros, his second. 1 away, and Quirk still at first base. And tomorrow, don't forget, at noon, if you're interested, noon Eastern, it'll be the NBC Game of the Week on Fall Classic, the Dodgers and the Mets, 1979. Bert Hooton against Pete Falcone from Shea Stadium. Here's Seitzer. .44, and that's a ballpark single check, which is not good for the hitters. Only a 1-3, so that's a fail. He will fly to center. Out number 2. 2 down, and we're looking at George Brett. Brett singled his first time up. 6-5 to the lefty. He flies to left, put away by Canseco, but the Royals get a run across, a single, a stolen base, a wild pitch, and another single produce a run. Go to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0. Favor of Kansas City. And do it for the A's, bottom portion of their order. It'll be Terry Steinbach, the catcher. He's hitting 285 real world. 4 homers, 14 driven in. He had 285 on the replay. 284 real world. So he's pretty much on target. 1-7 is a strikeout. Third strikeout for Saberhagen. 1 away. And here is Tony Phillips. Phillips, the second baseman, switch hitter. Hitting 240 on the replay. 4 homers, 26 driven in, and he hit 240 real world. 3-4, and that's a solid double. First hit of the game for the A's. A solid double for Tony Phillips. 1 out double. Number 9 hitter, Alfredo Griffin, the shortstop. He's hitting 256 on the replay, 121 driven in. He hit 263 real world. Five, 6, switch hitter batting left. That's another strikeout for Saberhagen, his 4th, as he tries to pitch around that double. Hello, Bob. Nice to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Here's Luis Polonia. Polonia in the clutch is a clutch at bat with the runner at second. So Polonia in the clutch will lose a hit on 110. Everywhere else he is neutral. He struck out his first chance. 3-10, and he's going to fly it to right field, and that's going to end the inning as Tartable makes the catch. Saberhagen has shut out the A's through 3 innings, and the Royals lead it 1-0 as we go to the 4th. On this Friday morning, which I believe is, let's see, 13. I'm trying to count back now. A lot of times I lose what number day it is on the calendar. Let me see if I can pick it up in my head without any assistance. Let's see, 13th was a Monday, so that means Friday would have been, what, the 10th? So is today the 24th? I'm thinking today is the 20th. Today's got to be the 24th, right? Okay. I know it's a Friday. I don't really keep up with the calendar date necessarily, unless it's near the 1st or whatever the month. Okay, it is the 24th. Thank you, Ben, for confirmation on that. All right, so it's April 24th, 2026 as we stream this, but we're recreating June 22nd, 1987. All right. Here is Danny Tartable. 2-7, and that's a split chance. 1-5 is a double. That's an 11, so it's a base hit for Danny Tartable. Leadoff single. Tartable, with that -1 there, if you got the lead, I don't know. It doesn't have an asterisk, so I'm not going to tempt fate on that. Here's Frank White. He is not being held. So here's Frank White. 4-4, and that is a ballpark single check again. Again, that 1-3 is not going to be a good sign for the hitters. Fly out to center. 1 away. Yeah, May is almost getting here. That's for sure. No question about it. All right, here's Bo Jackson. Bo knows. Bo popped out to McGuire his first time up. 3-3, and this time, no doubt about it here. As our old friend Jeffrey Guterman used to say, it was clean as a baby's behind. 3-3 is definitely a home run, no question about it, for Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. A nice, clean, crisp close-up of the 3-3 result on Bo Jackson's card. Solid home run for Bo Jackson. A 2-run shot, as a matter of fact, as Tartable scores in front of him to make it a 3-0 ball game, and Saberhagen's elated. He's getting some run support. And poor Ontiveros is looking to go 0-5 on a first-place team. So for Tartable, for Jackson, rather, that is home run number 11. He hit 22 real world. RBIs number 25 and 26. This was at bat 233 for Bo. So he's well past halfway, and he's only halfway on his home runs. So he's a little bit behind pace, while a lot of others are way ahead of the pace. Here is Bye-Bye Balboni. 4-8, and that is a split. 1-3 is a double. 4-20 will be a single, so another base hit. And you wonder how much longer Tony La Russa is going to go with Mr. Ontiveros here. Here's Salazar. 3-8 for Salazar is a fly to center. That's 2 away. They would like to at least get 5 innings out of Ontiveros. That's at least his fatigue inning. They'd like to be able to do that. But that's a 2. Balk or pass ball chance. We're looking at a balk chance on Ontiveros, which is a 3. No balk. He will keep going here. Jamie Quirk. 3-9 for Quirk, and that's a double and a 1 single, 2 stars. Keeps the inning going. Runners are now on the corners with 2 outs. And it's a clutch situation for Willie Wilson. Quirk, no threat to run. He will not be held at first base. Wilson's 0 for 2. Let's check his clutch value. He loses a hit on 2-8, but he loses a whole lot more in column 3. 3-8, 3-9, and 3-10. Let's take a look at that real quick as a close-up here for those that play the clutch or don't play the clutch. Look at his 3-8, 3-9, and 3-10 columns against right-handers. You can see the anti-clutch is definitely a big factor there. So let me back up because I'm starting to lose some of the peripherals on these cards. I don't want to do that. All right, so Willie Wilson in the clutch. Runners on the corners, 2 out, 2 in, 2 on. Ontiveros to Wilson. 3-12, and that's a pop-up to second base. So Willie Wilson's 0 for 3, but thanks to the 2-run homer from Bo Nose, it is a Kansas City lead of 3-0. Going to the bottom of the 4th, Saberhagen, not used to having a 3-0 lead to work with, but it's got one today. We'll face numbers 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup, Davis, Lansford, and McGuire. 4-4, and that's a ground ball third base. Seitzer is a 4E26. That's not too good. 4 and a 17, though, he'll get to that. E26 and an 11 at third base. E26 is an 11 right there. 10 and an 11 are errors on the E26, and he found the 11. So Seitzer and E26 boots that one. E5. And that's the last thing Saberhagen needed. So Davis now looking to get a lead. He's a 2 through 5. 2, 3, 4, or 5 to get the lead. He does not get it. He will hold. Here's Carney Lansford. 3-11 for Lansford. That's a ballpark blast, but unfortunately it's only a 1-5. So it is a deep fly to left field. Oakland Coliseum. Not conducive to the big guys, which makes the 49 home runs that McGuire hit even more amazing, considering half his games were at Oakland Coliseum. Here is McGuire. That's a 4-6, and that's a line out right to Frank White for out number 2. And that'll bring up Jose Canseco. He popped up to Seitzer his first time. Davis still at first base, has not moved. 3-11 for Canseco, and that's a ground ball to third. That'll do it. So Saberhagen pitches around the Seitzer error, picks up his teammate. At the end of 4, it's still 3-0 Kansas City. Oakland won the real game, real world, 4-1. How they did that with Ontiveros pitching, I'll never know, but they did. As Casey Stengel once said, you can look it up. All right, this is the fatigue inning for Steve Ontiveros. Ontiveros, keep an eye on that fatigue factor. Here's Seitzer, 3-6, and that's a walk. That'll be 1 ding against his fatigue. And now the Oakland bullpen. Let's go to their bullpen and see who might be lurking out there. There was a lurking earlier on from Tribe fans. So let's see here who might be lurking in their bullpen. Let's see here who can pit. It looks like the guy that's going to take the brunt is Dennis Lamp. So Dennis Lamp is loosing in the bullpen. He is their long relief guy. He's called on to eat some innings. So Dennis Lamp. Lamp was 1-3 with a 5.08 ERA real world. So he would be the guy that would come in and try to eat some innings for him. Seitzer, to try to get a lead, is a 5 or a 6. Doesn't get the lead, he'll hold. And here's George Brett. Ontiveros could desperately use a double play about now. 2-11, and that's a ballpark single check instead, 1-3, so that's going to be a line out to second base. If there was nobody on base, I would keep the ground ball third base B, but if I use that now, that would change the base running situation. We don't want to do that. So we'll just say lines it to Phillips for 1 away. And here's Danny Tartable. 2, so Balker pass ball. Pass ball chance on Steinbach is a 7. And it is a pass ball on Steinbach. Pass ball. That eliminates the ground ball double play and puts a runner in scoring position. Tartable. 2-3 for Tartable. Ground ball shortstop A. And boy, if not for that pass ball, it would have been a Giovanni's Taylor shot. Taylor made double play. But instead, it's just a 6-3 ground out with the runner at second holding. 2 outs now in a clutch situation for Frank White. White in the clutch loses a hit on 3-12. Everywhere else he appears to be neutral. 3-12 is the number he's got to avoid for sure. 6-3, and it's a ground ball first base C, so Ontiveros will get out of it as McGuire fields it, flips to Ontiveros covering to end the inning. So Ontiveros will come back for the 6th, apparently. Dennis Lamp has set down. So La Russa may be getting a vote of confidence to Mr. Ontiveros. But if they don't get any runs off Saberhagen, it won't make any difference. Saberhagen cruising through 4 innings. Leading off for the A's will be Mr. Hot Dog Reggie Jackson. Struck out his first chance. 2-5, and this time he draws the base on balls. That is the first walk issued by Saberhagen. Of course, Reggie, not much of a threat to run there, so he will hold. And here's Terry Steinbach, especially when you're losing 3-0. Steinbach. 1-2, and it's a ground ball shortstop B, so it's fielder's choice. Steinbach hustles down the line to beat the relay to avoid that tailor-made double play. But Jackson's out at second base. Steinbach, the new runner at first, but he's not interested in running either. And the Royals will not hold him on. Here's Phillips. He doubled his first time up. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2. There will be a 7th inning stretch in this game. I haven't done one, I don't think, all week, so probably need to heat my coffee and take a quick stretch break. So when we get there, it'll be an abbreviated. It won't be as long as the usual 7th inning stretch. Probably only a minute. All right, here is Alfredo Griffin. Struck out his first chance. Steinbach still at first with 2 outs. 1-7, and that's a 1-5 home run, and that's a 19, so he'll hit a double. Double is assumed to go to center field. Now we do a little bit of math. They promised there'd be no math, but in Strat-O-Matic, there's always math. Steinbach runs at a 10, not being held as an 11. 2 outs makes him a 13. The double goes to center. Wilson's a +2 arm, makes all of a sudden a 15, so very profitable for him to go. 1-15, and if they throw through, which they will do, Griffin will take third on the throw, but with 2 outs, they're not too worried about that. So it's 1-15, and he scores. And he's out at the plate. How do you like that? Steinbach trying to score. He had a 75% chance, but it didn't work out. A nice relay from Salazar. It's going to go 8-6-2, and they throw Steinbach out at the plate. You can say, why in the world would you send him down 3-0? But you got a 75% chance to score. If you can tell me that Luis Poloni has got a 75% chance of getting a base hit as the next batter, then I'll say, yep, I was wrong. But In this case, it was the right move, but the D20 had other ideas. So don't fire the third base coach just yet. All right, so that's going to end the inning. We go to the sixth. Still 3-0. Ontiveros is back out to face Bo Knows, who homered, hit that 2-run homer his last time up. For 8, and that is a double 1-3. 19 is a single, so it's a base hit for Bo. He's 2 for 3. What's going on here, Bo? 2 for 3, and he's going to try to get a lead. He needs a 6 or a 7. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. And here's bye-bye Balboni. Now Dennis Lamp is back up again in the bullpen loosening. Balboni. 1-3 for Balboni. That's a ballpark blast, but again, 1-5. But this time the Devil Dog cooperates, and bye-bye Balboni sends one bye-bye. And that's going to be bye-bye for Steve Ontiveros. There you go. A 3 fits into the ballpark home run of 1-5. The 1-3 itself is the ballpark blast. So Balboni, home run number 12 on the replay. He had 24 real world, so he hit the 50% mark. It is now 5-0 Kansas City. That's it for Ontiveros. So home run number 12, he had 24 real world. And he's had, this is at bat 222. He had 386 at bats real world. So Balboni just sends Ontiveros bye-bye. And they will bring on Dennis Lamp. Try to eat some innings. So Ontiveros will go 5+. Didn't get anybody out in the top of the 6th. And we'll get the numbers on Dennis Lamp as the call to the bullpen has been made by La Russa. And Dennis Lamp coming in. Go to the box score very quickly and get the final numbers on Mr. Ontiveros. They were good for a while, but then they faded here in this last inning. So Ontiveros gives up 10 hits, 5 runs. They were all earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So we turn it over now to Dennis Lamp on the real season. He was 1-3 with a 5.08 ERA, no saves. On the replay, he's done better. He's 2-1 with a 3.16 ERA and 1 save. He's tossed 31 innings, given up 33 hits, 11 walks, and 12 strikeouts. And he'll be facing the bottom of the order, Salazar. Salazar and Quirk, the next two, numbers 8 and 9 hitters, off of Dennis Lamp. 2-8, and that's a single 1-12, so base hit for Salazar. He's 2 for 3. Royals typically do not hit like this when Saberhagen's pitching, but boy, they're doing it today. Lamp is a +4. So with that +4, Salazar will again try to steal. Remember, in real world, he stole 4 bases, got caught 4 times. In the replay, he's stolen 3 bases without being caught. So he's going to try again. See if he can get the lead. That's an 11. He's caught stealing for the first time. Or we'll call it picked off, caught stealing, however you want to refer to it. We'll call it caught stealing. But they're playing with house money, so it's pretty much irrelevant. Here's Jamie Quirk. 2 for 2 for Quirk. 4-7. Single 1-12, that's a 20, so he lines it to Phillips, 2 down. And here's Willie Wilson. Surprisingly, he is 0 for 3. 1-7. He's going to be 0 for 4 as he grounds to Phillips to end the inning. But the 2-run homer from bye-bye Balboni. And Kansas City has a comfortable 5-0 lead, especially with Saberhagen on the mound. Got to feel pretty good about that if you're Kansas City. Saberhagen. His fatigue is an 8, so he certainly can go the distance should he feel the need, or should the Royals feel the need to extend him the distance. Here's Polonia. 3-5 for Polonia is a base on balls. That's not what you want to do. You get a big lead, you don't want to start walking guys and putting them on base. Normally I try to steal with Polonia, but down 5-0, we're going to eschew that and play it close to the vest, as they say. Here's Davis. 4-3. That's ground ball first base, X. They were holding him on, so Balboni becomes a 5-E18. Because Balboni is responsible for holding Polonia. So a 5-E18. And that's I don't know if it's a 2, I think it's a 7. I don't think it really matters when you got a 5 out there. It's pretty irrelevant. That's a single 2 stars. If you're 4 or 5, didn't make a difference. So a single 2 stars. Actually, I'm sorry, I was reading that wrong. Single 1 star. It would have been 2 stars had he kept his original 4, because that pound sign would have turned it into an SI2. So actually, it worked out better that he somehow, in a backwards kind of way, it worked out nicer that he was a 5 instead of a 4. It's a single 1 star. And let's see, that's an 8, and his error rating is an 18 at first base. There is no 8 there, so first and second, nobody out now. And here's Carney Lansford. First serious threat that the A's have made with nobody out. Usually they've gotten some stuff done with people on base, but there's been outs. This is a chance to get something done with nobody out. Lansford 0 for 2. 5-7. That's a split chance. 1-6. 13, though, is a liner right to Salazar. 1 away. And that'll send up McGuire. So we got McGuire, Canseco coming up. For 8, and for Sagan, it's a pop out to third. So how about that? After getting the first 2 on, Saberhagen has kept the ball in the infield. No runner advancement, and now we're down to Canseco in a clutch situation. Canseco in the clutch will gain a hit on 110. Everywhere else he is neutral. That's a 1-7, and that's a strikeout. So after getting the first 2 on, Saberhagen slams the door shut, keeps the score at 5-0. For Saberhagen, that was strikeout number 6. To the top of the 7th, Dennis Lamp, your batter. And like I said, there will be a 7th inning stretch, possibly an abbreviated one, but one nonetheless. But right now, Kevin Seitzer is not worried about a stretch. He's worried about getting some hits. Seitzer is 1 for 2 with a walk. 4-7 for Lamp. That's a solid single. Another hit by the Royals. That is their 12th hit of the game. They usually do not show that kind of proficiency in swinging the bats, but they're doing it, especially with Saberhagen pitching, but they're doing it today. 5 or a 6 gets them a lead. Does not get the lead, he will hold. And here is George Brett. Oh, wait a minute, I already did the 3-9 for Brett, and that's a ground ball third base B, fielder's choice, 5-4. Eliminates the faster runner and puts on a slower George Brett. 1 away. Brett does have asterisks. Let me revisit this. He does have an asterisk here. So we're going to try for the lead here. 4 or a 6 through 8 gets him the lead. And that's an 11. He's caught stealing. So Brett is caught. Let's get the numbers on Brett real world versus replay, because he's got some interesting numbers on his lead chances. Some of these might be back ends of double steals. I don't know. He stole 6 bases. Real world got caught 3 times. In our replay, he's stolen 1 base. This will be his 3rd caught stealing. So he hasn't done quite as well in the replay as far as trying to steal bases. So he is caught. Two down now for Danny Tartable. Base is cleared. 4-4, and it's a fly ball center field. Ex Polonia is a 3-E9. 3 and a 10 should be okay, I would think. For an outfielder, 3-10. That's a 13. That could be questionable. 3-10's an F2, but we're looking at the E9 and a 13 for center fielder. E9 is a 14, but not a 13. So Polonia is able to make the catch and get the A's out of the rest of the inning. So we will go to the 7th inning stretch with the score. Kansas City 5 and Oakland nothing. And the Oakland A's offense just seems to be anemic today. Saberhagen has befuddled them quite a bit. Due up in the bottom of the 7th when we come back, it'll be Reggie Jackson, Terry Steinbach, and Tony Phillips. Those are your scheduled hitters. All right, so we will head to the 7th inning stretch, 5-0, and we'll be back in roughly a minute. As soon as I can get this where I want it. All right, we are back. And if you're curious where that came from, I found this on YouTube, Red Sox organ music. It's a lot of background ballpark music that you can listen to. And it starts off with the 7th inning stretch, but it goes on to other things as well. So, and a more truncated version for a minute long. So that other one I was using, it's like 2 minutes long. So just search that on YouTube and you'll find it. It says Organ Music 1966. That's what it says here. So I just happened to find that stumbling on some stuff. So in case you were curious where that was from. All right. We are now back to the ball game. Bottom of the 7th. We go. Reggie Hot Dog Jackson, your batter. Let's move these things over just a hair. Maybe more than a hair. Maybe let's put this right there. All right. Now the cards show again. All right. Here is Reginald Martinez Jackson due up. 5-10, and that's a leadoff walk. Reggie has drawn 2 base on balls in this game. Interesting. And here is Terry Steinbach. Well, it could be worse. I could sing. You don't want that. That would probably come close to an FCC violation if I did that. So be thankful that I'm keeping you from that. All right, here's Steinbach. 5-9, and that's going to be a fly ball to center field. Willie Wilson is there, 1 away. And here is Tony Phillips. If I could do it, I would capture Steve Towers' ukulele performance and play it, but I'm not sure I would be allowed to do that. All right, 5-9, switch hitter batting left is a fly ball to right field, 2 down. And that'll send us to Alfredo Griffin. Griffin doubled his last chance up before Reggie still stuck at first base. 4-8, and that's going to be a strikeout for Saberhagen, his 7th. He has been large and in charge the whole game. 7 shutout frames, and the Royals still lead at 5-0. And Dennis Lamp's doing nothing other than just eating innings for the A's. Once LaRussa wants to rest the remainder of that bullpen for the games ahead. So sometimes you sacrifice the battle to win the war, to use a wartime analogy. All right, here's Frank White. 4-6, and that's a single base hit for Frank White, his first hit of the game. That's hit number 13 for Kansas City. It's been a while since they've had 13 hits. Here's Bo Nose. He's homered and singled. That's a 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Dennis Lamp. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. So 1 down for Steve Balboni. 3-7 for Bye-Bye, and he goes bye-bye with a strikeout. Bye-bye Balboni, 3-7 is a strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts for Ontiveros. Quickly 2 away after the initial single. Brings up Angel Salazar. .67, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. We are looking at Griffin. He's a 2E29. 2-2. Double die strikes again. 2-2 will be a single. See how many stars it is. 2-2 is a single, only 1 base advancement. That's an 11. Griffin's an E29. It's short. And there's an 11 right there. The only error in the E1 section of E29 rating is an 11. So it's a single plus an error on Griffin. Not what the A's needed there. That'll move Frank White all the way to third base. So runners are going to be at second and third after the single plus error. And that is on the shortstop, Alfredo Griffin. Brings up Jamie Quirk, and it's still considered a clutch situation. And in the clutch for Quirk, he will gain some hits, 1-9 and 2-6 and 2-8. 3 hits he gains on that. See if that comes into play. 5-3, it does not. It's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Mike Davis. He's a 3E16. 3 and a 14, he'll get to it, but we're checking the E16. That's a pretty high error rating. That's a 6. E16 and a 6. And there's a 6 right there for a 1 base error on Mike Davis. The A's are falling apart defensively. 16 and a 6 right there, 1 base error. So that will produce a run. Stopping at third is Salazar on the E9. So an unearned run comes across the plate. No RBI given, naturally. When you reach on the error, you can't get an RBI. But it doesn't matter. Still counts on the scoreboard all the same. So 2 errors in a row by the A's. Maybe they packed it in. I don't know. Here's Willie Wilson. He's 0 for 4, believe it or not. 2-11, and he's going to be 0 for 5. So the Royals have pounded out 14 hits and scored 6 runs, but their leadoff guy is 0 for 5. That, on surface, doesn't add up. But other guys have done the job. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. Saberhagen cruising with a 6-0 lead. He'll be facing the top of the order, Polonia. Oops, not Griffin. Polonia, Davis, and Lansford. 3-8 for Polonia is a ground ball to third, and Seitzer is there. One away for Mike Davis. 3-6 for Davis, and that's a ground ball to second. Figured as soon as I start running out of room, all the results would be off the 3 and 6 column. That's just kind of how it runs around here. All right, Carney Lansford. Lansford's 0 for 3. That's a 5-7, and that is a 1-6 single rather. That's a 3. So Carney Lansford will get his first base hit of the game. And of course, all steals are called off with the score 6-0 in the 8th inning. So we're not worried about stealing. They're not even holding him on. So here's Mark McGuire. 6-12 for Saberhagen. That's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Tartable. 4-7 for Tartable. 4 and a 20. He gets there, no problem. That 20 covers a lot of sins in the outfield. That's a 13. He's an E7. E7, there's a 16, 6, 15, and 18, but no 13. So Tartable makes the play, and Saberhagen will carry almost full endurance into the 9th inning. And Dennis Lamp starting his 4th inning of work. He's trying to be the workhorse of the team. He'll be facing Seitzer. Let's move this over just a touch more. Maybe I can fit it all in or come very close, one or the other. It'll be Seitzer, Brett, and Tartable due up for the Royals. 2-9, and that is a ground ball to third. One away, and that brings up George Brett. 1-6 for Brett. Home run on a 1-2, but that's a 10, so he'll settle with a double. So 1-out double for Brett, and that is hit number 15 for Kansas City. They have just taken it to the A's in this game, no question about it. Here's Tartable. A's are looking forward to the rest of the series. They've pretty much given up on this game. 4-9, and that's a single 1-10, but it's a 19, so he will line it to Griffin at short. 2 down. And Dennis Lamp will get a couple days off after this for going 4 innings. He's going to need a few days off. Here's Frank White. It's still a clutch situation by rule. That's a 1. So Dennis Lamp wild pitch rating per the computer is a 14. So we got a wild pitch on Lamp that moves Brett to third base. Not really that big of a deal, I don't believe. Another 1. Do I want back-to-back wild pitches? Why the heck not? And we got back-to-back wild pitches that bring in a run. Usually I don't like to do that, but I was like, what the hell? It can happen. 7-0 Kansas City. I mean, the game's over anyway, so it's really doesn't really matter much. 6-8, and that's a strikeout for Dennis Lamp to mercifully end the inning. So Lamp's going to go 4 innings in this game. And the Royals now a commanding 7-0 lead. We'll go to the box score and get the numbers on Lamp. He did his best to try to eat it. Well, he did eat the innings. I mean, he accomplished his job. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. He could have been perfect and retired all 12 batters he would have faced. struck everybody out, it wouldn't have mattered because they're down 5. They would have been down 5-0 anyway, and the A's are not showing any kind of offense. So it didn't matter really for Lamp how well he pitched because the game was over long ago. Here's Jose Canseco. 4-5, and that's a pop out to short. Salazar is there. One away for Reggie Jackson. Reggie has walked twice and struck out, still yet to put the bat on the ball. 6-11. This time he does put the bat on the ball, but it's a weak grounder right back to Saberhagen. He is a 2-11. 2 and a 16. He'll obviously get to it to throw him out. Question is, does he make an error? That is a 14, and he's an E11 as a pitcher. So E11, there's no 14. There's a 12, 15, 16, and 18, but no 14. Just the kind of day it's been for Kansas City where everything seems to go right. And Saberhagen 1 out away from a complete game shutout, which would improve his record to 6-8. The ERA right at the moment is at 3.04, so he'd almost be down to an even 3. Here's Steinbach, last chance. 6-11, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Salazar, 2E16 to finish it off. 2 and a 13, he'll get to it. Just checking the error, E16 and an 8 at shortstop. E16, there's no 8, there's a 14 and a 17, and that's going to do it. So a complete whitewashing by the Kansas City Royals as Brett Saberhagen is your player of the game, no question about it. Saberhagen pitches a 4-hit shutout. About as dominant as you're going to get. Go to the box score and get all the pertinent totals. Saberhagen, 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Final line score for Kansas City, 7 runs, 15 hits, and an error. For Oakland, no runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. Losers, Ontiveros, he drops to 0-5, and his ERA skyrockets to 6.15. Saberhagen improves to 6-8. His ERA drops to 3.03. So that finishes off the June 22nd date on the calendar. And just so you can see it, I did play this offline yesterday. The only game that was not on the channel as far as video purposes for this date was Seattle and Chicago. And Chicago defeated Seattle 11-7. Ivan Calderon had 2 home runs. He was 3 for 4. 4 runs scored, 4 runs batted in. The 3-run homer in the bottom of the 8th took a 8-7 game and made it 11-7. And that was that basically. So the White Sox got the win. They were in second place behind Oakland, so they actually pick up a game now. They're 31-35, and Oakland drops to 41-27. So as we look at the up to the second standings through June 22nd, the Oakland A's now have a 5-game lead over. I'm sorry, Chicago's way behind. They're not. I got them confused with California. My bad. Chicago wins, but they're 9.5 back of Oakland. Oakland still maintains a 5-game lead on California, but Kansas City has surpassed Minnesota into third place. Minnesota did not play on this date. Them and Cleveland did not play on June 22nd. So California's 5 games back, Kansas City 8.5, and Minnesota 9 back. Chicago 9.5, Seattle 10. That's in the West. In the East, Milwaukee leads Toronto by 3, and Detroit and the Yankees are tied at third place, 8 games back. The other teams, Boston, Baltimore, Cleveland, all 18 to 20 games back, and they're way out of it. So we look ahead to Monday in this replay, which will be June the 23rd in our schedule. And June the 23rd, we will start out in Boston, in Fenway Park. It'll be the Milwaukee Brewers and the Boston Red Sox. Juan Nieves against Jeff Sellers. That'll be Monday. Tuesday, the Yankees will be in Baltimore. Rick Rhoden against Mark Williamson, who come out of the bullpen to make a spot start. Then we're going to have on Wednesday, we're going to have Toronto and Detroit from Tiger Stadium. Dave Steve against Jeff Robinson. Thursday, we are looking at we're looking at Seattle and Chicago. Scott Bankhead against Bill Long. And then on Friday, we're looking at Tom Candiotti in Cleveland visiting Minnesota, Mike Smithson. The offline games are set to be California and Texas, and Kansas City and Oakland. Although Kansas City is starting Mark Gubicza, so I might try to sneak a Mark Gubicza game in there just for ID gesture. You never know. Anyway, thank you all for being here on this Friday and finishing out the week in this replay. Tomorrow, of course, will be the NBC Game of the Week on Fall Classic Baseball 1979. Dodgers and the Mets from Shea Stadium. And it will be Bert Hooton for the Dodgers against Pete Falcone for the Mets. That'll be Saturday. Sunday, I have a special video I will put out. I won't say a special video, but it's something I'm going to try for Sundays and see what kind of reception it gets. If it flops, I won't do it anymore. If people like it, I'll keep it going. But that'll be sometime I'll upload that. It's already been recorded, so I'll just upload it on Sunday because normally I don't stream on Sundays. So I'll put that out there just to, it's like the other day when I was cooking spaghetti, there was the old trick that to know the spaghetti is done, you throw it against the refrigerator and see if it sticks. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this thing on Sunday. So it may fly, it may flop, who knows? I don't really care. I just like trying different things. So we'll see how it goes, what kind of reaction we get to it. But from here, the reaction is that Brett Saberhagen is like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's king of the world today. And he's given Tony La Russa Excedrin headache number 9. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you have a great weekend coming up, whatever you have planned. Play some games out there. The weather's nice. Get outside and do something. Never know. I've thought about cutting grass today, but it's going to be kind of warm. And I know Monday is going to be like in the 60s. So I will probably defer to Monday to cut the grass, actually. It's supposed to rain over the weekend on tomorrow. So that might help too, as far as trying to wash away. We still got some lingering pollen. Then the pollen gets to me big time. Sneeze City with that pollen stuff. So hopefully the rain will wash that stuff away and I can get back to normal breathing. So that's going to do it from here. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.